right. Substances that remain within the body, such as regulatory molecules and mucus, are called excretions. We are chapter 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Scar tissue is stronger than the original healthy tissue that it replaces and can perform all of its functions. Granulation tissue is composed of collagen fibers made by fibroblasts. Gap junctions are most commonly found in the intestinal epithelial cells, the heart, and smooth muscle tissue. In the urinary bladder, pseudostratified columnar epithelial cells are able to stretch and thin out as the bladder fills with urine. Pus is a collection of fibrin. Intercalated discs occur only in smooth muscle. Keratin is a waxy substance that fills the cells of the dermal layer of integument. Transudates contain electrolytes but no mucin. In apocrine glands, granules are stored in the cells until the apex is full. Then the top part of the cell is released with the granules into the duct system. Serous secretions are watery and contain a high concentration of enzymes, whereas mucus secretions are thick, viscous, and composed of glycoproteins. Connective tissue has no direct blood supply, and epithelial tissue is vascularized. Elastic fibers are found more abundantly in the vocal cords, lungs, skin, and walls of the blood vessels. Diapedesis is the word used to describe the movement of leukocytes through walls of tiny blood vessels. Mucous membranes form an important role in monitoring and controlling what enters the body. Mucous membranes line the walls and cover the organs that fill closed body cavities. Bone is a specialized connective tissue that is well vascularized, protects vital organs such as the brain and heart, acts as a calcium reserve, and is the site of blood cell production and fat storage. Cartilage is a specialized connective tissue that contains an abundant supply of nerves. Mast cells are found as far away from blood vessels as possible so their contents cannot be released directly into the bloodstream. Functions of epithelial cells include secretion or excretion of biochemical substances, filtering of biochemical substances, providing sensory input, or all of the above. This component of connective tissue acts as a shock-absorbing cushion and helps to protect the more delicate cells it envelops. Collagenous fibers, wandering cells, ground substance, or reticular fibers. Which of the following are functions of connective tissue? Forms protective sheath around organs, acts as a reserve for energy, plays a vital role in the healing process and controlling invading organisms, or all of the above. This type of cellular junction is found between epithelial cells and is strong, welded plaque or thickening formed of filaments that interlock with one another. Tight junction, basement membrane, gap junction, dusosomes. This structure acts as a partial barrier between the epithelial cell and the underlying connective tissue. Connexon, gap junction, basement membrane, plaque. These simple columnar epithelial cells manufacture and store lubricating mucus that is secreted onto the luminal surface of the epithelia. Goblet cells, endothelial cells, mesothelial cells, desmosomes. This type of tissue is most abundant by weight in the body. Nervous, epithelial, muscle, connective. These glands package their secretions into granular units and release them via exocytosis. Holocrine, mixed exocrine, apocrine, or merocrine. The goblet cell is described as a multicellular exocrine gland, unicellular exocrine gland, multicellular endocrine gland, or unicellular endocrine gland. An example of an endocrine gland is the goblet cell, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, or BNC. These simple columnar epithelial cells manufacture and store lubricating mucus that is secreted onto the luminal surface of the epithelia. Goblet cells, endothelial cells, mesothelial cells, or desmosomes. Which is an example of a wandering cell? Adipocyte, fibroblast, reticular cell, macrophage. Histamine and heparin are released by macrophages, reticular cells, goblet cells, mast cells. This condition is characterized by spaces in areolar tissue becoming filled with an excess amount of body fluid and is a result of pathologic insult, inflammation, edema, diapedesis, exocytosis. This type of cartilage is found in the pinnae and epiglottis of animals. Fibrocartilage, elastic cartilage, hyaline cartilage, or none of the above. This type of membrane lines the respiratory, urinary, and reproductive tracts, synovial, serous, cutaneous, mucus. Primary function of leukocytes is to fight infection, to distribute oxygen and nutrients to the body, to provide a ground substance for connective tissue, or to help blood to clot. These cells are either fixed or transient and engulf dead cells and foreign invaders, red blood cells, adipocytes, mast cells, macrophages. This type of loose connective tissue plays an important part in temperature regulation because it is a site of heat production. Brown adipose, reticular connective tissue, areolar connective tissue, white adipose. This is the most common and most rigid type of cartilage in the body. Hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, or none of the above. This is the matrix of blood: plasma, erythrocytes, leukocytes, thrombocytes. Serous membranes are described as stratified squamous epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, or simple squamous epithelium. Not yet. Which fluid can form between the parietal and visceral layers of serous membranes? Effusion, exudate, transudate, all of the above. This is the only type of membrane that has no epithelium: mucus, serous, cutaneous, synovial. These substances stimulate vasodilation after an injury: histamine, fibrin, heparin, A and C. Healing in which the edges of the wound are held in close apposition without the formation of granulation tissue or significant scarring is called second intention, first intention, epithelialization, or proud flush. Which of the following is an example of mesentery: omentum, uterus, appendix, or epidermis? Smooth muscle is described as involuntary striated tissue, involuntary non-striated tissue, voluntary striated tissue, or voluntary non-striated tissue. The formation of blood clots is important because blood clots help to prevent hemorrhage, blood clots help to isolate the wound from the invasion of pathogens, or blood clots help to prevent bacteria and toxins from spreading to soft tissue structures, or all of the above. The first step that occurs in the process of inflammation is vasoconstriction to control hemorrhaging, clot formation, vasodilation, or invasion of neutrophils and macrophages. That's it.